building.
I'm closing the building. Go
okay,
ahead.
that's fine.
You can leave now. You can leave now.
Relax.
Sir, no.
I'm
sir,
leaving.
leave.
You have to leave.
So this is public property.
You cannot record on state property, DOC property. That's the
What
thing.
law is that?
It's not a law, it's a policy.
Do I have any paperwork?
Yeah.
Other than the United States Constitution.
Not doesn't apply here for this. We have our policy here.
Take a step back, please.
No, I'm in my building. I'm asking you
Well, you're
for
in
your
our building.
credentials, but I'm asking you for your credentials.
I know.
So if I decide to remove you from the building, then what?
Well, if you physically put your hands on me and remove me from the building, that would be a crime. Make a sign that says no
But it's our
black
building.
people allowed in a building, no white
So you're
people
being
allowed.
racist now. Is that what you're saying?
No, I said you
just
could.
said that. You said about being black people. You're being racist. That's
I'm
what
saying
you said.
tyrants come in all shapes,
Thank you, sir.
colors,
Yes.
and
You're being very
sizes.
tolerant because once again, you have no sensitivity.
Please take your hands out of your pocket.
Sir, there's nothing in my pocket. It's
I
just-
don't know what's in your pocket.
Okay, there's nothing, there's no.
Then take your hands out of your pocket. No, I don't know what's in the bottom of it. It could be a knife in there.
Sir, you're being a tyrant.
No.
You have no business being here because, again, this is private property.
It's not private.
What happens when a government office forgets who really owns the building, the people? In today's intense encounter, an independent journalist peacefully enters a public facility to exercise his constitutional rights, only to be met with hostility, false claims, and a heated clash over policy versus law. As the tension builds, officers confuse policy with power, and the line between authority and abuse begins to blur.
Who owns the property, sir?
Sir, you have to leave.
This isn't private property, sir.
Sir, you have to leave.
This is public property, sir.
So you have to leave.
So this is public
you cannot
property.
record on state property, DOC property. That's the
What
thing.
law is that?
It's not a law, it's a policy. You cannot record.
It's a policy.
Yes, sir. You can step outside and record. You just cannot record inside the building.
Well, this is still a public building, public property. It's publicly
It's
accessible.
a correctional institution, which is a secure facility. Okay?
There's nothing secure about it. I just walked right in.
No.
There's secure areas in this building, of course, sure. And I don't plan on going into any of those secure areas,
But you
sir.
cannot record in the building itself.
But that's not a law, sir. Respectfully, that's not a law. That's just a policy,
What's your
sir.
name?
Oh, my name is Sean, sir.
Sean what?
Just Sean.
Just Sean?
Just Sean.
Fair enough, Sean.
Yep, no problem. Hey, how are you? How are you guys doing?
I'm good. What's up?
You mind if I get your name?
My name's Supervisor McCarron.
And my name is Sean, sir. And your name, sir?
Now, Supervisor Dowling.
Supervisor Dowling. Nice to meet you guys.
And what's your business here today?
Oh, I'm just taking some pictures and video. I'm an independent journalist. I'm working on a story on the Department of Corrections here.
Gotcha. Do you have any kind of paperwork saying you can be on the property for doing that?
Do I have any paperwork?
Yeah.
Other than the United States Constitution.
Not doesn't apply here for this. We have our policy here. So I would like you to.
The United States Constitution doesn't apply here?
No. What you're trying to do does not apply to this. You cannot record here. We have a policy that says you cannot record in our building.
And that policy trumps the United States Constitution and freedom of press?
Anything. Our policy for this building, you're not allowed to be here in this building recording, and you said you can't. So I'm going to ask you to remove yourself from the building, please.
Sir, I'm engaged in a constitution protected activity. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not, you're talking about your policy. I'm not breaking any laws. If you'd like, you can call law enforcement.
It's our policy.
If you'd like, you can call law enforcement so they can explain to you
We
the
are law
laws.
enforcement. You can remove yourself.
But that's not against the law,
No.
sir.
You asked me to call
You're the
law
same guy
enforcement.
that was at the jail in Ransom.
Where?
The women's prison?
Oh, no, I never went there before. No, never. This is the first time I've been to a Delaware correctional facility here.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't there.
Other than videotaping, you have no business.
Well, yeah, I want to do a Freedom of Information Act request, but I'm just taking some picture and video right now, but I'll get to the Freedom of Information Act request. When I get to it, I'm just taking some pictures and video of the signage here. Again, this is not a secure area I'm in or anything like that.
It is state property.
Oh, I understand that it's state property, definitely funded by taxpayers. I understand that. I get it. It's just I'm not in any secure or restricted areas, and your policy doesn't apply to me. I don't work here. Respectfully, I don't work here. I'm not bound by your policies. I'm bound by the law and the United States Constitution, which you said doesn't apply here for some reason.
No, you're mistaking the words, but
That's what you said.
we're not going to go back and forth.
I don't want to either.
Right, okay. So here's the thing. You have no other business other than being in the building. So if I decide to remove you from the building, then what?
Well, if you physically put your hands on me and remove me from the building, that would be a crime.
It would be a crime. Show me what crime, please.
Well, you cannot put your hands
No,
on people that
Show
aren't.
me what crime, please.
Yeah, that would be the crime of assault,
It would be
and
assault?
that would be
We
assault.
remove you from the building?
That would be
escorting
assault.
out from the building, we have a right to say you can leave our building.
No,
correct?
you cannot
No.
assault people that haven't
Do we
broken
have
the
a right
law.
to say you can move our building? Do we have the right to say you can leave our building?
No, because this is a public building. Is it closed to the public right
It's
now?
the state. I'm sorry. I like you, if you're taking,
Yeah, I'll take whatever.
Okay.
Sure.
all right. Okay.
What do you got up there that says what?
So,
The Bridge Clinic.
where's it? I'm sorry.
It's posted inside the lobby.
Oh, you can go
Oh,
inside.
inside the lobby where I'm not.
No, it said no loitering.
Yeah, I'm not loitering. I have a loitering
You
is
have no business in the
loitering
building.
is when you don't have a purpose. Right, loitering is when you don't have a purpose. You're just standing around not doing anything.
Right.
No. I'm told you I'm engaging in a constitutionally protected activity of freedom of press. I'm a journalist working on a story.
Where's your
I'm
credentials for the journalist?
I'm sure I could produce some
I'm
credentials
asking
for
your
you.
credentials right now, sir.
Yeah, no, I don't have to give them to you
So-
though.
no, you do.
I don't.
You asked me for credentials.
Can you just take a step
Well,
back, please?
no, I'm in my building. I'm asking you
Well, you're
for
in
your
our building.
credentials, but I'm asking you for your credentials.
I know.
I'm
I'm
asking
gonna
you for
take
your
a step
credentials.
back. I'm gonna
Okay, you
de-escalate.
can take a step back. I'm asking for your credentials.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Where's your credentials, sir?
Sir, can I see your credentials? Your credentials is what?
As an officer, this is my credentials.
Okay.
Okay, so where's
So you're
your
an officer with the Department of Corrections.
Where's your credentials,
Sir, I don't show credentials unless I'm forced
You said
to.
you were a publicist. You
I
said
am.
you're-
No, I'm a
so-
journalist, right.
Well, journalist. Can I see your credentials as a journalist, please?
No, you can't.
I can't?
No, sir, you cannot.
Okay.
You cannot see you cannot see my credentials. You cannot see. I don't need credentials, and you can't see my license. I'm not going to give you my ID. I haven't broken any laws.
It's okay.
Again, if you look at the sign right next to the authorized visitors only.
Right. Well,
You're currently not authorized to be in here because you have no business with any officer.
well, I do. I just told you I'm doing a FOIA request, and I'm working on a story here on the Department of Corrections. What do you guys have to hide in a public lobby?
No, but my question is, did you get the proper information and credentials to do this? Did you contact the proper authorities in our building for the state to do this in the state building?
No, because I don't. I would if I needed to, but I don't
But you
need
just said
to.
you're doing that. So we're asking the same thing says here. You're not once again authorized to be in the building.
Well, I am. You don't
How?
make that. You can't make that determination.
We just made the determinations right here. It seems like you want to follow policies that apply that you want.
I don't want to
apply.
follow any policy.
Okay, but you're saying what you want to do.
I don't need to. I follow the law, sir.
And what is the law?
That is not the law.
That is our building that we're responsible for our building.
No, that's not the law,
But
sir.
it's our building.
You can make a sign that says no
But it's our
black
building.
people allowed in a building, no white
So you're
people
being
allowed.
racist now. Is that what you're saying?
No, I said you
just
could.
said that. You said about being black people. You're being racist. That's
I'm
what
saying,
you're saying.
I said black and white
No,
people.
no, no. You didn't say white. You
I said black.
people.
If you let me
you're being
finish,
racist, but you're being
if you
racist,
let
sir.
me,
Sir, at
no,
this
I'm
point,
not.
You're being racist.
I am
so I
not.
would like you to leave the building.
I'm not being racist at
We
all,
are.
sir. I'm giving you an example that if you had a sign that
was a very
said,
poor example.
why? It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It does.
Once again, you're applying things that you want to apply, but you don't know how.
If you had a sign that said no yellow people, no white people, no black people, no whatever kind of
Sir,
people here.
You're now cleaning up your actions. I
No, I'm
appreciate
not.
that. You're playing with words. I really do appreciate that. You
No,
do
I'm
play with
not.
words. You're really a good wordsmith. But see, I see
If
how you're
if
doing that.
you interrupted me before
No,
I could
didn't interrupt
finish,
sir.
you said
I
you're being
appreciate it.
racist.
No, because you were. But I
You're playing a
appreciate
race
it.
card.
Sir,
I don't
you
know
are.
why.
Sir, but you are. So I have rights too. What you did,
Of
you
course.
defended my rights. You stepped over my rights.
No,
You
I
did.
didn't.
Yes, you did, sir.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Not at all.
Yes, you
You're
did.
being very
You-
disingenuous.
Sir, you are.
No.
Because we're trying to tell you to remove.
I'm
yourself
trying to
from
give
the
you an
building.
example of why
That was
policies.
a very poor example.
No, it's not. It's a
Sir,
perfectly
so-
aligned example.
So what I would like you to do at this point, we're going back with words, and we do not feel comfortable with you in our building. We're asking you to leave the building.
Right, and I have business to conduct here. I told you
What
that.
business do you have to conduct?
An open records request for the Department of Corrections
And
is
how
part
do
of
you
my
go about
story.
doing that, sir?
Fill it.
How do you go about doing
Why
that?
don't you
sir?
tell me since I'm here?
No, sir. You must know more than I do. So how do you go about doing that, please? In our
You go
building.
to the agency where you want to collect the public information and you request
Agency
it.
down in Dover that has all the records.
Right.
So you're in the wrong building.
Well, you
to
could
get that information.
You could submit the records form anywhere.
Sir, no, you have to send a request, a form to do so. So until you have that form of request, you do not belong here.
Of
So
course I
if you
do. I
want
can write the
information,
request.
Then write the request.
Right.
And go to Dover and get that, and they'll provide all the information. So in this building, you're in the wrong building to do that.
No,
So
sir,
you
I'm
do
not.
sir,
I'm right where I knew where I was
sir,
going when I walked in the door.
Sir, you did not. You went to a building. If you want the records, our records are held down in Dover. So any request that goes through that must go through Dover, sir. Did you know
Right.
that?
Well,
Obviously, you
it
must
could go
not-
to any agency,
no,
sir.
The agency
I'm very
is in
familiar
Dover.
with the Open Records
But the agency is in
Records
Dover
Act, sir.
that holds the records, sir.
But you
So
could-
you're
but
in
they
the
could
wrong
forward
agency.
it. Listen,
Sir,
that's
you
not
haven't
how it
sent a
works.
request. Did you send a request? Did
Sir,
you send a
you
request?
put request in writing,
Did
sir.
you send a request?
Sir, relax and de-escalate.
Did you send a request?
Sir, de-escalate, please.
Sir, did you send a request?
Hi, ma'am. How are you? Nice to meet you. Who are you, ma'am?
My name is Laurie, but you can't be in here with a phone. So
Why
there's a
would I-
sign right out here
Why
that
wouldn't I be
says
able to be out here with
there's
in
no
here with a
phones in
phone?
this- There's no cell phones in this building. You need to be out there.
So there's people that come in here that don't get checked for phones. How many
They
people
do
are in
get
there?
checked for phones. How would you know?
How? Because I just saw a bunch of people walk in and you
They
didn't
have-
check them for phones, ma'am.
They have to
And I'm
come
sure
the
that
other way
they're.
and they get checked for phones.
I've seen people walk in this door, ma'am, without being checked for
you're
phones.
There's no more arguments. You
I'm
need
not.
to go.
I don't
or
want
we're
to
gonna
argue.
Call the police.
You can call the police, ma'am. They're going to educate you on public photography
No.
and our constitutional
No.
rights, ma'am. Go ahead, do what you need to do. Again, you're making things up. Now phones aren't allowed in this building.
We have a metal
It's-
detector in back that collects all the phones. We go back there and you go through.
Sir,
When you
multiple
go
people
through-
have walked through this door.
And they go through the metal detector over there, sir.
Okay,
And we confiscate
that means
their phones.
wherever they go through the metal detector, that's where you don't
You're
allow
making up-
phones,
you're
sir.
making up our rules for
No,
our business.
it's
Sir,
not your business. This is the
Sir,
people's business. That's what you're not
this is our
understanding.
business. You're not understanding. But I appreciate this, sir. This is really good banter. I love it. So we're going to continue doing this. It's okay.
I mean, you
okay.
can do whatever you'd like,
It's
sir.
okay.
You can do whatever you'd like.
Sir, I can see you like to do the things your way. I appreciate it.
I like to do the things lawfully.
Sir, you do not.
I like
because
to
once again, you've
exercise
gone
my
back-
rights peacefully.
Sir,
I'm
you've
not
gone
raising
back
my
and
voice.
forth.
Haven't done anything
Sir,
wrong to
you've
you.
gone
I've
back
been
and forth about requests, and I told you the proper way to get a request, which you refuse to do so.
right, and I'm
Which you
here
refuse
also
do
to
so.
document the public building,
Which
sir.
you refuse to do so. I
Right,
appreciate
I'm
that.
also here to
You're not following any type of rule or any type of guide. Only the ones you want to set.
No, I follow the
appreciate
law.
it.
The law,
is-
sir.
You just said the law, and I gave you the example of where you have to go get the request.
Right,
And put it
no,
in
but
writing,
I
you
just
did
told
not
you
do
I am
that.
taking pictures in public. I'm working on a story on the Department of Corrections.
And what's your story, sir?
I've received many tips that the Department of Corrections has tyrant officers just like you
I appreciate
who
that.
treat
Thank you.
people in a way that you're treating me. I
just
could only
raising information.
I could
You-
only
you
imagine
refuse
how
to-
you if you're treating a member of the public and a journalist like this way, I could only imagine how you would treat an inmate or someone on parole or
You're
probation.
making assumptions, sir. You don't know.
I'm saying that's why I said I can only imagine how you would treat them.
But here's the thing: you can always look up my name. You can ask any offender who knows me. So your assumption is totally wrong. So you. Can
I wouldn't know that
create
until I
you can
conduct
create
my
the
investigation, sir.
You can create the narrative the way you.
I
want
will
to.
conduct my investigation
I
into
appreciate
you,
that.
and I will
You can
figure
create
that
the
out. And if it
narrative
is
in the
true
way
that
you
you
want
are
to. But
that you
can
are
create the
cordial with
narrative
people,
in the
but
way you want to.
your actions here don't display that today,
It
sir.
doesn't have to display because your actions display this way.
Excuse me,
Please take your hands out of your pocket.
sir. There's nothing in my pocket. It's just-
I don't know what's in your pocket.
Okay, there's nothing. There's no.
Then take your hands out of your pocket.
There's nothing. There's no weapons in my pocket. You just saw. I just showed you.
No, I don't know what's in the bottom of it. It could be a knife in
Sir, you're being a tyrant.
there. No, I am not being tyrant.
You are being a tyrant. You have no right to.
All
you have
people that enter
no-
this building
This
are
is
subject to
So
search.
this way he can't do his narrative.
Subject to search over there. Where it's subject to search.
All in this building. You are in this building. You are subject to search.
Where does it say that?
I'm asking you to take your hand out of your pocket.
Sir, I just showed you. There's nothing in my
Sir, right
pocket
there.
other than a cell
The sign
phone.
says that for there. Anybody
It's a
that's-
cell phone. You're not. You shouldn't be scared. You both.
No,
You
I'm
guys are armed. Why are you scared
Sir,
for?
I'm not scared. Sir,
You are scared. You tell them I can't put my
I'm
hand in my
showing you-
pocket because
I'm
you're
showing you.
scared.
I'm showing you what the sign says.
Right.
You asked that.
Okay.
So it shows you what the sign says.
Right. I'm not in a restricted area. This is a publicly
It says
accessible
restricted
area.
Nothing says restricted.
I know that.
It says any person or vehicle on the property is subject to search.
This okay. So violate my rights and search me then. If you think that sign makes you have the authority to violate my rights, my Fourth Amendment right of unreasonable searches and seizures, search me.
Not unreasonable.
It is unreasonable because there's nothing you can see. There's nothing on
Not
me.
provided any ID.
I don't. What about my ID would make you feel safe? You're scared, obviously. So what about my ID or credentials would make you feel safe? I mean, you're acting scared by saying, "Get your hands out of your pocket." That's acting scared,
That's
sir.
actually being.
I'm not scared. You guys have weapons. I'm not scared. What would I be scared for? You guys have weapons. I don't. All I have is a camera. That's all I
The
have.
great thing about this whole thing is you are creating a narrative, which I like. You're creating a narrative to fit your. We can step away from their window because that's something totally different. So we step away from their conducting business at their window.
I mean, if somebody comes up, I'll move out of the
Once
way.
again, I asked you something polite. You're going to
And did I not just move out of the way?
No, but you're telling me what you're going to do. If somebody comes up,
Because
you do what?
I will move out of their way.
But I'm asking you to move now out of their way.
No, but they're not in the. I'm not in anybody's way. Again, you're just trying to feed me directives because that's what you're used to doing. You're used to people following your directives without question.
Are you finished speaking?
They're used to following your directives without question. No, I'm not finished speaking, sir. You're used to people following your direction without question and because if not, you will violate their parole. You will do this. You'll do that. I am free to stand where I want, sir. I'm not blocking anybody. If somebody comes up to the window, I know how to move out of people's way, sir. You don't need to tell me to do that. I am finished, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
But it has nothing to do about directive. It's having a conversation after this direction. You can move a little further back. We can move this way. I just don't want you to be in front of their window.
Sure. When I asked you to step back from me, you said, this is my building. I'm not going to step away from
and
you.
then I didn't move back, didn't I?
You didn't. I moved away because I was going to de-escalate the
And I moved away from
situation.
there. But either way, I'm asking you to either move away from their window.
Sir, I'm not blocking anybody. As you can see, there's no one else in here. I'm not, and if somebody came up, I'm an adult. I know how to move out of people's way,
It
sir.
has nothing to do about being an adult. It's simply that it seems like you have a problem even following or listening to people, or even making.
But why
some
would I need
amends.
to listen
Or
to you,
making
sir?
some amends.
But why would I need to
Or-
what
or
authority do
making
you have
some
over me that I need to
amends.
listen?
It's not- Or make some amends.
Amends?
Or-
Do you know what
Or-
amends means?
Okay.
Amends means that you are making amends for something you did wrong. I haven't did anything wrong.
In your mind.
In anybody's mind. What if I've broken the law? You should arrest me.
You're a lawyer.
I'm not loitering. Loitering is when you have no purpose.
You have no purpose.
I do have a purpose here. I've explained that to you multiple times. Just because you don't like my purpose, that's different. You might not like the purpose I'm here for.
For this building.
That might be your prerogative on this is not your building. You don't own it. You don't command the building.
I didn't say it was my building. I said this building.
Right.
For
As
this
you just
building.
said, this is a whole different agency here that's inside of this building. So obviously you're not the end all be all for inside this building, correct? You're not even the only agency in this building. So how can you just make the rules and say you have no business here? You could say that to anybody. If I had a Fox 35 news jacket on and a big camera crew with me, you wouldn't say that. You'd be like, oh, we're not doing anything wrong
If
here.
you'd be a little more respectful, we asked them to kind of move a different way. I think they would still try to
They would
work
also
with
show
us.
credentials.
Right.
Oh, they would show credentials, right. They probably would because that's their policy. My policy in my company is I don't show credentials or my identification. I don't need to explain to you what my company is, so you will know what my company. No, I'm exercising my right. You said you identified yourself to me as law enforcement. I have a Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not give you any information.
Wow.
That is my right. Why is it that exercising rights becomes a problem, sir?
I'm exercising the right as well.
You're,
And you refuse to do it. That's fine. That's fine.
what right are you exercising, sir?
Daniel Becker for Ms. Bronner. Thank you.
Hey, how are you? Is that a personal or work phone, sir?
Don't let me answer that question. Thank you.
I just wanted to know so I can request the footage.
You're not questioning any footage. Thank you.
He's recording something
Doesn't
that.
matter. You're recording something.
I'm not a government official.
Doesn't matter.
I'm not a government
Doesn't
official.
matter.
You're creating public record by recording with a cell phone.
so
No, I'm not. I'm not a government official, sir.
You stop our
He is a He can record. Is anybody stopping him from recording? No, but he is a government official.
And?
He's a public servant. That means while he's recording, while he's on duty receiving taxpayer money, he's creating a public record.
sorry, how
And
do
if
you
you
know he's on lunch?
if
He's
you
on
just
duty.
if you
How do
destroy
you know
that
he's on
record,
duty?
that would be destroying
How do you
public
know he's on
records.
duty?
Okay.
He's on lunch. He's off duty. How do you know that?
So he's just recording for his own benefit. That's
For his
great.
own benefit, like
He's
you are.
exercising his
Like
First
you are.
Amendment
He's
rights.
exactly
Fantastic.
like
I love
you
it.
are.
Great. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Fine.
Fine.
It doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter.
Really doesn't.
Why do law enforcement officers get so scared when people have their hands in their pockets? Like, do you think everybody's out to hurt you? Is that what it is? Because you're the one that do you think everybody's trying to hurt you, officer?
You don't have to comment that. Let that conversation.
I mean, he said, take your hands out of your pockets. Why? A lot of officers I see say that. Why? Why can't a free man or woman have their hands in their
Like to hear
pockets?
yourself speak, so keep speaking, please.
I mean, you've been talking more than me.
No, I don't think so. I think your perception is a little off there, but that's okay.
All right.
It's okay.
All right.
I noticed the people coming in and out have not given you any kind of permission for you to post any of this video.
Oh, I don't need their permission.
Yes, you did.
I don't.
Yes, you did.
You guys are just, all you're doing right now is just demonstrating to the people
Yeah, we don't know anything.
that you don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, just like
You're
I think all of us don't know what we're talking about.
You're demonstrating to the people who are going to watch the video
It's okay.
that you don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay.
There is no expectation of privacy in public.
It's okay.
That is the same type
It's
of
okay.
logic that allows you to have cameras in public areas. Did you ask me for my permission to record me?
It's okay.
No.
It's okay.
All right. Excuse me, sir.
I know. I'm okay. You're
Have you
okay.
checked
I
in
know.
with your sections?
You're just,
But
you're just
I'm asking.
You're just walking in
I know,
front of me.
but you're not going to go any further near my officer. So I'm making sure you stay pretty far away from my officer.
I
That's all.
know. Just it could
I
be
understand.
considered, and you know,
It could be, but I'm asking you to stay close.
Disorderly
far from him.
conduct,
You don't
like
need to be
walking
in this
in front of
conversation,
people.
sir. It's okay.
a little close.
I understand, sir. It's okay.
I'm gonna try walking away from you.
I understand, but you're not able to go into the lobby, but you're okay.
It's a secure lobby. Why would I go in?
No, doesn't matter, sir. Just making sure everything's okay.
Everything's fine.
I understand, but you're not going to be in this conversation. There's no need for you to be there. It's something that has nothing to do with you.
I think he's getting educated. I
Well,
think that's what's
maybe he is,
going on.
But right now, you don't need to be close to him. That's all.
But you could be close to me.
Because you're getting close to my officer, you made a move to my officer.
Oh, okay. All right. Say hello.
It's like my shadow.
I appreciate that. Here's that racist connotation again. Call me a shadow. I appreciate it.
Excuse me?
You call me a shadow. I appreciate it.
So you're saying that because you are following me around, I called you my
Now,
shadow, that's
I think
racist?
you're making references
You're one
to
of
my
those
color
people.
scheme.
You're one of those
You're
people
one of
that
those
just
people, sir.
always
I
just
think
want to
you're
bring
making-
race into it
Maybe
and
I
want
am,
to.
sir. Maybe I am, but you made a
You
comment.
think
Once
you're a
again, that's
victim
your
of your
second
race,
time.
color? Listen,
I appreciate it, sir.
I'm
Thank
a
you.
minority too, but
Sir,
I'm not a
this
victim.
conversation-
I'm not a
this conversation
victim.
Doesn't matter.
You're not a victim either.
You don't know that, sir. Once
You're
again,
not a
you do
victim.
know. You do not know the story.
You're my shadow because you're following me around.
Sir, I don't
You can
think
make
that
it about race if you
made
want.
a comment second time about my color of my skin.
Never made any comment about the color of your skin. It doesn't matter. Tyrants come in all shapes,
Thank you, sir.
colors,
Yes,
and
you're being very
sizes.
tolerant because once again, you have no sensitivity to diversity, to my plight, my feeling.
Did you take
It's okay.
Did you
Sir,
take sensitivity training?
sir,
Is that why you're
this
acting like this?
conversation has ended because once again, it's the
Well,
second
you can
comment
end the
you made.
conversation.
I could.
Go ahead. You can, but
Thank
you're
you,
not
sir.
going to stop me from
Thank
speaking.
you, sir.
I like it too.
Absolutely
Thank you, sir.
ridiculous.
I know, sir.
Ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
I know. Law enforcement should just called you and said, "Hey, he's engaged in a constitution-protected activity. Get back to work. Get back to what the taxpayers are paying you to do. Don't follow him around like a shadow."
That's a third. I appreciate that, sir.
Has nothing to do. Oh, you're a victim. You're a
Maybe I am.
victim,
Once
huh?
again, you're treating the victim very poorly.
You're a victim. Sensitivity training and all
I
that.
appreciate
That's,
that.
How easier to see.
that's the problem.
Who are you here to see for the Freedom of Information Act?
I'm not going to answer any more questions till law enforcement gets here. You made your intent pretty clear in the last 45 minutes. Law enforcement has arrived. Looks like the Delaware State Police. Let's hope they're educated on our constitutional rights, right? We're going to find out. And then they can educate you guys. You guys can go back to work. I can move on with my day. Everybody's happy.
Could have moved on with your day long ago.
No, I can't. I can't.
I'm not keeping you.
Oh, I know.
His intent is to try to educate people. That's his intent.
Yeah, there you go.
But you could have done it a whole different way. I appreciate that, though. There's a right way to do those things if you wanted to. You could have started a seminar and you could have sat down.
I do police officer trainings at police departments.
Well,
I do that too.
But
I go across the country and train police in their precincts. I'll send you the video.
Hello.
Hey, sir, how are you?
Doing well. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. You mind if I get your name and badge number, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. No problem. Go to State Police.
Nice to meet you, sir.
So what can we do today? What are we doing? Let's do.
Oh, I'm an independent journalist. My name is Sean. I'm just working on a story here on the Department of Corrections here.
Okay.
And just staying in the publicly accessible areas. I'm not going to any restricted areas, any enclosed areas.
All right.
Just getting some pictures, some B-roll footage, and that's it.
Okay, sounds good to me. Can you just wait right here for a second while I talk to these gentlemen here?
Oh, sure. You can go ahead and talk to them. That's fine.
I'm
Go
going to
ahead.
talk to you over here, all right?
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Do you mind if I get your name and badge number?
Trooper Lato, 2118.
Thank you, Trooper. I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
So what's going on?
Oh,
I
nothing.
didn't hear- I
Oh,
was-
yeah. No, I'll repeat myself. Not a problem. No, I'm just. My name is Sean. I'm an independent journalist. I'm just taking some pictures and video of the publicly accessible areas here for my story I'm working on in the Department of Corrections. That's all.
That's it?
That's it.
All right.
Nothing. Nothing nefarious going on here. Not going into restricted areas.
So what, what did they say?
They said that I'm not allowed to take pictures in public, and that they were going to physically remove me from the building. And I told them that I'm engaged in a freedom of press, constitution protected activity, filming law enforcement, and they called you guys. So we've been waiting for you to show up. That's all. That's it. And we're just going to see what happens next, I guess.
All right.
But it is with no ordering.
Yeah, it's right up front. Facility, correctional facility. Okay, has he story about anything in particular?
Oh yeah, this is the department in general. Just, you know, the different services. I've received some tips from people about the department, so I'm just investigating in general. Just nothing. I can't get too specific with you, only because the story's not published yet. That's all.
Gotcha.
Right.
All right, so can I just talk to you outside, see what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, we can talk right here, sir. That's fine.
All right, so what business do you have here?
Like I said, I'm engaged in a constitutionally protected activity. I'm just
Yeah.
getting some B-roll footage in the publicly accessible areas
Okay.
here. That's my business
All
here,
right.
sir.
Do you have all the footage that you need?
Oh, no, not yet. No.
Okay, so what else do you need?
I need some more B-roll footage of. There's a lot of different public notices, signs here that
Right.
I'm investigating, and
Okay.
plus I just have the right to be in public. There is no
Right.
law against being in
So
public and
here's
recording.
here's the issue we have here. So this is parole and probation.
Right.
So we have people who are reporting to their POs here, dealing with sensitive information, stuff that's not privy to the public. And up front,
Right, that
this
would be why it's
this
behind
is-
the window.
And this is still a correctional facility. So yeah, you are technically in a common area, but this for itself is a private property. So I understand you're a journalist trying to do some work, great. But outside of that scope, you really can't be out here doing what you're doing now, unless you actually you're doing your business. So,
Right. Do you mind if I speak to a supervisor?
yeah, absolutely. We'll get to there right now. So obviously, I'm trying to get as much information as I can right
Sure,
now
yeah,
from
no
you,
problem.
so I can relate to my supervisor, who will come here. Can you start right for a second? And he's going to explain to you the same thing I'm explaining to you.
I hope
Yeah.
not, because
So-
this is a public area. Being a
It's
correctional facility
it's
doesn't.
a common area. It's not
Right.
a public area. Up front, this is state property. So unless you have official
State
business
property,
here-
public property, it's the
if
same
you-
thing.
Unless you have official business here, you do what you like here. You can submit whatever paperwork you like for your investigative, journalism. Cool, great. But speaking to these two gentlemen here, you haven't provided any sort of credentials or paperwork for you to obtain that information.
Right. I don't need to provide credentials to anybody. I don't need to provide my ID. This is the United States of America.
Right.
We are free to enter into
Correct.
publicly accessible areas
But again,
and record law
but
enforcement.
right now,
it's a First Amendment protected activity, sir.
So right now you're trespassing onto state government property.
I'm not. If you read the trespass statute, that is not what the
Right.
trespass statute says.
Okay, but there's a sign out front that says.
Doesn't say no
state
trespassing.
property. No trespassing, no loitering. If you see right there,
This is not loitering. Loitering. The definition of loitering is standing around not doing anything.
Right.
I'm doing something.
but again, like I said, this is.
There's been other people
probation.
that have come inside of this building. They're mad because I have a camera, and
Right.
that's why they're upset. But there's
Yeah.
been other people that have come inside of this building and just stood right there for 30 minutes, and
Right.
they didn't say, "Hey, what are you doing inside of this building?" Again, and that's what it comes to when it goes to court. If this goes to court, if it needs to go that route, I've unfortunately been arrested 9 times, and I've had all charges dismissed because everything I do is within
Right.
the law. I'm in the Second Circuit right now, filing federal lawsuits. So
Okay.
I just want to make it clear, I do trainings with law enforcement
Right.
officers about
Cool.
First Amendment
So
training across the country.
You understand our position here that these two gentlemen here have gone out of the way to try to accommodate you as best as they can.
Well, you don't know that because you weren't here.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. Have you gotten everything you needed?
No, I'm not finished with my business here,
All
sir.
right. So let's do this. Go ahead and finish your business here, and you're going to have to leave because right now you're not conducting any sort of business that's appropriate to this facility. Are you checking in with a probation officer? Are you
No, I'm
registered
not
for
on probation or parole,
Are you on
no.
parole? Exactly. So
No, but this is not just the probation officer. This is
Right.
This
But
is
you
not just a
have-
probation office. You have the administrative. Right. That is not.
authorized visitors.
That is not a law, sir. And there is more offices in here
Right. It
besides.
is not a law, but here's the thing: there is official business being conducted here. You have people coming in who probably don't want to be seen on video reporting to their.
That doesn't matter. There's no reasonable. You're recording people right. You're recording right now,
Correct.
sir.
But again, this
You don't get their
because
permission?
I'm conducting business with you at this point.
Right, and I'm
Person-
conducting
for
constitutional.
example, that person who's sitting over there. In their car,
I don't think we're, sir. I don't think we're going to
But I'm saying-
agree.
But I'm letting you know.
Right, no,
understand.
I don't think we're going to agree. I would just like to speak to a supervisor, and if the supervisor,
Right.
if the supervisor says, because if the supervisor says that I'm not authorized to be here and he'll arrest me, then that gives me what's called.
Okay.
That's.
So
Let me
make a
finish.
phone
Let me
call.
finish. Let me
I'm
finish.
gonna make a phone call.
Let me
Maybe
finish.
but he's gonna tell you the same exact thing.
All right, and
I'm
that's
telling
fine.
you.
And then I will
We
have
no
standing in
official
federal
business.
court to handle in federal court like I've done in the
Okay.
past. That's
All right.
fine,
If
and we
that's
can
the
all
route
move
you wanna
on.
take, that's
No,
the route
that's
you wanna
fine.
take. But I'm
No,
letting
it's
you know
fine.
You have no official business.
I do have official business here, sir.
All right, so go ahead and finish your official business here. Right now, you have no business being here because again, this is private property.
It's not
We're on
private
probation,
property.
And you're not an authorized visitor checking in with probation.
It is not a
So
private,
let
and
me-
there is not. This is
so
not
let
just
me
a probation
accommodate you.
building.
So let me accommodate
This is
you.
not just a probation building, sir. This is not just. Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
You realize this is probation building. They are here with us.
And they're
They-
currently closed.
And they're currently
Right.
closed, so
So-
therefore we control the building.
Yeah, right.
So what you're
Well,
doing
you
is- what
don't.
you're
You
doing-
don't.
we
But
do.
at the end of the day,
We
and
do.
you'll see in the federal
We do.
laws. Okay, that's
We do.
fine.
Until you can show
I'll
the
wait.
proof, we're going back and forth.
All right,
Also, like I
great.
said, there's people
All right,
here
thank you,
that
sir.
are
Thank you. I
victims.
appreciate that.
There are
They're victims?
people-
Okay.
yeah, there are
Like
people
you,
who are
right?
victims.
Like you.
There are people here who are victims. People here who
Like you,
don't
right?
get shown.
Like
There
you.
are Also, and I'm
Like
thinking
you.
At this point, who else is in the lobby at this point? Somebody in the lobby?
So you're the only victim here, apparently, according to you, because of the
Sorry,
color
is anybody in the
of
lobby?
because of the color of your skin.
Two people waiting, I believe.
There's two? Okay, so I have the authority at this point to, I don't know where. We're closing the building officially. Building is closed. Building now is closed.
You're closing the building.
I'm closing the building. Go
Okay,
ahead.
that's fine. You
Okay,
can close
you
the
can leave
building.
now. You
Okay,
can leave now.
Relax.
Sir, no,
I'm
sir,
leaving.
leave.
If it's closed,
It's closed
so no
officially.
one else is going to come in here.
Sir, it's closed.
I just want to make sure the
It's
building
closed.
is closed.
It's closed officially right now.
You have the authority to close the
I have
building?
the authority to
Okay,
close the building.
That's not a problem.
The building
That's
is
fine.
closed officially.
So if anybody else comes in here, I'm going to come. Look, this guy's coming in here right now. It's not closed. He's coming in.
Closed.
We're closed.
We're closed. Thank you for taking care of that. You can officially leave now.
All right.
This
If
is
you, hey,
conducted.
listen.
I appreciate
if you
that. There's
if you
nothing else
if you're
to discuss. There's
closed,
nothing else to discuss. Can you
I'll
please
finish
leave
my
our
state.
building?
I'll save my
Can you please
statement.
leave our building now?
If you're
Can you please
closed,
leave our
that's
building?
fine.
Can you please
You're
leave our
closed.
building? Can you
That's
please leave our
fine.
building?
I'll
Can
be
you
back.
please leave
Don't
our
worry.
building?
I'll be back when you're
I
open.
appreciate it. Thank you. When we open up, we'll see you again. But right now, building's closed. Please leave our building.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Have a nice
If
day.
it's closed, it's closed. How you guys doing?
How are you?
It's closed, trooper.
I think our supervisor's making his way here. I don't know when he's going to be here, so
Right.
you know, it's up to you.
Right, I got it. I mean, they're closed. They're closed. I don't stay in buildings after they're closed. See if they have an official hours here. So today is Monday, so they're not closed for another 10 minutes. So they closed early just for a camera. There's 10 minutes. We're gonna have to just come back here, I guess.
Hey, Sean,
Yes, sir.
if you're going to come back, which is, you know, fine in my book, how long do you think it would take for your, you know, your...
Oh, not long, not long. As long as, listen, as long as my biggest issue and why I'm still here, I probably would have left by now,
Yeah.
is that it's not about just conducting the business. I just wanted to get like some pictures of all those signs in there, but I didn't have a chance because they said that recording is prohibited. So my biggest thing is education. Like I said, I go around to police departments. I've been invited to police departments across the country to conduct education on the First Amendment. It's to spread awareness and to make sure that public servants recognize our rights and that law enforcement uphold their oath to the United States Constitution. So as long as I am permitted to film and there's no issue with the filming part, I'm not trying to stand in here for 8 hours straight.
yeah.
You know what I mean? As long as the filming part is fine, you know, like I said, I don't stay in a building after it's closed. If it's closed, it's closed. It's closed to the public. That means it's closed to everybody. But if you're just keeping me out because I have a camera,
completely understand, man.
right?
I'm
If you're just keeping me out because you have a
with
camera,
you.
that's a little bit, you know, that's, you know, now you're tailoring it to, hey, you know, you can't come in and promote transparency and ask questions and submit FOIA requests, you know, open records requests. And
Yeah.
that's a problem to me because now it's the government agency's not being transparent to the people.
I hear you, man.
That's it.
I'm a firm believer, you know, catch more flies with honey
Right. Hey, if they would have came out and said,
kick you out.
right, he said, I'm going to throw you. He said, I'm going to throw you out. And I said, well, if you put your hands on me, that's assault. You can't just grab me, So, if he would have said, hey, sir, hey, you're a journalist. Your name's Sean. My name is Dan. Can I help you with anything? I'll show you the signs. If you have any questions, I can get you the public relations. There's a different way of handling it, that de-escalation that you guys are supposed to learn that, makes everything go easier.
This video is more than just an audit. It's a reminder that our rights mean nothing if we don't stand up for them. The Constitution isn't optional, and public servants must remember they work for us, not the other way around. If you're ever told that doesn't apply here, ask yourself if not here, then where? Stay informed, stay calm, and never stop holding power accountable.
Stop recording. Stop.
17
I'm asking
former.
you to stop recording. Have ID on you?
I do not.
Hands in your pocket.
You're not getting any identification, and I'm not going to stop recording. Period. That's it.
So for my safety, I'm going to pat you down, all right?
It's a peaceful protest against the Nassau County Police Commissioner, Patrick
You have a
Ryder.
permit for that protest?
I don't need a permit.
Stay on that sidewalk.
I'm going to go on that sidewalk,
you're
sir.
not going to go on that
Yes,
sidewalk.
I am.
Just stay on that sidewalk for right now. I'm asking you.
Am I being detained?
He sent those masked men to my home. I'm a journalist.
No, we didn't.
Brave Patty or brutal psycho.
What happens when the police commissioner, the man entrusted to lead law enforcement, becomes the biggest threat to transparency and accountability? In today's video, we take protest to the next level. A billboard truck, bold graphics, and 8 hours of public truth-telling. Why? Because Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick "Psycho" Ryder is hiding a legacy of brutality, corruption, and intimidation. And today, we expose it all.
Hey, how are you? I'm doing well, sir. Can I get your name and badge number, please?
It's right on my shirt.
Your name's right on your shirt?
Yep.
How do
You
you
have
spell?
ID on you?
How do you spell that?
You have ID on you, sir? It's Officer Poulos.
Officer Poulos, and your badge number?
You have ID on you?
I do not.
Hands in your pockets.
I do not have any
You
identification
don't
on
have
me.
any identification
I don't
on
give
you?
identification unless I've been suspected of committing a crime, Officer
Okay, I'm
Poulos.
asking you for your identification.
And I'm going to respectfully decline
What
that
are you doing
request.
here?
I'm peacefully protesting. What does it look
You're
like? Do you see?
peacefully protesting?
Peacefully protesting. See the
Protesting?
billboard truck?
Billboard truck?
Yeah, you see it? With all the different signs that's going to be on there?
That's gonna be on there? It looks like there's nothing on there right now.
Well, yeah, he's changing the settings right now, but yeah. It's a peaceful protest against the Nassau County Police Commissioner,
You
Patrick
have a
Ryder.
permit for that protest?
I don't need a permit. I don't need a permit. I'm not using any megaphones or doing anything of that
Got
nature.
a huge screen here.
Right.
Is that necessary?
Yeah, 100% necessary. I'm going to be out for 8 hours. I'm going to be here for a while, then I'm going to drive around. Why is he pulling in so fast? This is not an emergency. He can hurt somebody, and he's not even have his lights and sirens on. You see?
Sir, why can't you just cooperate with us?
Hired. Look, he hired 17
Stop recording. Stop.
17
I'm asking
former.
you to stop recording. I'm asking you for your identification.
No,
I don't understand.
no, you're not getting my
Sir, stay
identification.
over there. Okay.
You're not. Just stay in the truck. You're not getting any identification, and I'm not going to stop recording. Period. That's it.
So you just have to be difficult.
I'm not being difficult. I'm exercising my rights. You took an oath to uphold those rights,
I am.
so you should.
I'm
You didn't take an
asking
oath
for
to
identification.
protect the.
I'm asking you for your identification.
And I'm telling you, no. It's my Fourth Amendment right not to identify myself to law enforcement.
Okay.
You know who I am.
So for my safety, I'm going to pat you down. All right.
I don't consent to any searches or seizures. So
I'm
you
not
do what you
searching
do.
I'm not searching you. I'm going to pat you down to make sure you don't have any weapons.
I don't
on you.
consent to any searches or
That's
seizures.
fine. All right. You got anything else on you?
I would appreciate it if you didn't touch me.
Sir, stay on the sidewalk.
I'm going on that sidewalk.
No. Just stay on that sidewalk.
I'm going to go on that sidewalk,
you're
sir.
not going to go on that
Yes,
sidewalk.
I am.
Just stay on that sidewalk for right now. I'm asking you. Am
Am I being detained?
No. I'm
So,
asking you to
that's
cooperate
fine.
with me.
I
Why
don't
do you
wanna-
have to?
Because, sir, I'm a free American. I can do what I
understand that.
want.
You're in the roadway right now.
I can do what I want. I
and
want to
that
get
is an
this.
issue.
I want to get
That's
this.
actually an issue.
I want to get this officer's name and badge number. I'm allowed to cross the
He'll-
street.
He will come over to you. He will come over to you.
This officer came in here and he was very aggressive. driving down like if this was some sort of emergency. A man peacefully protesting. No lights and sirens, coming in, extremely high speed. Do you see the Nassau County Police Department? I want you to stop recording. Why can't you just listen to us and cooperate? Let us violate your constitutional rights. So we have an undercover plainclothes unit here. Cooperate. You know, let me pat you down. Give me your identification, even though we know who you are. All right, so an unmarked Crown Vic pulled up. Looks to be a sergeant. Just want to make sure. How you doing, Sarge? Hey, how are you, Sarge?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Mind if I get your name and badge number, please?
Sergeant Scavuzzo, 822.
Thank you, Sergeant. I appreciate that. Thank you. Sergeant, you know I'm no threat to the commissioner. I'm not a threat other than, you know, accountability, but I'm not a threat as far as a physical threat or anything like that. Hey Sarge, why are you touching the vehicle? Another intimidation tactic, ladies and gentlemen, walking around our big beautiful truck here. I promise it looks very clear in person. But just intimidation tactics here by the law enforcement officers and the goons of Patrick, Psycho Rider. So we are in the billboard truck right now, driving around the neighborhood of Patrick Psycho Rider, just to, there he is right there. He's getting in his truck. That's his truck right there. You can see he just got in his SUV right there. He was waiting for us to leave. Interesting. Very interesting. He's finally getting to work. What time is it now? It is 12:30. We've been out here since 9 a.m. and Patrick Ryder hasn't been to work. He's that terrified of a camera with 4 law enforcement officers outside. He knows I'm not a threat. So we're gonna drive around this neighborhood, then we're gonna go to the police department and the county building. We've been driving around the billboard truck all throughout Nassau County. You can see it right there behind me. So we're outside the Nassau County Executive Building, right here on Main Street, right by the police department, right in front of this thin blue line gang flag here right above our heads. We're here to expose the police commissioner, Patrick Psycho Rider. And again, I don't call him a psycho. That is what he's known by internally in the department. He's proud of that nickname because he used to jump out on suspects while climbing up in a tree. So we have this nice billboard truck here to let the residents know here in Nassau County what's going on with him, his corruption, hiring 17 officers from the NYPD that have misconduct on their jackets. Look at the asset forfeiture rate. Compared, the Nassau County asset forfeiture rate compared to the rest of the state and the rest of the country. It is out of control. He's threatened attorneys to take care of them. Patrick Ryder, he's the police commissioner. He was arrested for, before he was a police commissioner, as a patrol cook, he was arrested for police brutality.
And guess what? He should be our police commissioner.
He should have. You're
so
right.
who voted him in?
Ed Mangano appointed him. The disgraced Ed Mangano, who's in federal prison right now.
Well, that's really bad.
Yeah, it's really bad. Perjury. See this? He sent those masked men to my home. I'm a journalist.
No, he didn't.
He did. Those are officers in Honda Civics. In a Honda Civic. They tried to run me.
Sent them to your house?
They tried to run me off the road.
Wow.
He sent those officers to my house to intimidate me.
That's terrible.
Because I'm reporting on this. She said Patrick Ryder shouldn't be the police commissioner if he was arrested for perjury, misconduct, official misconduct, and police brutality. She said it, a resident. He shouldn't be the police commissioner then, but he is. And that's the sad part, he is. And a disgraced county executive, Ed Mangano, who's in federal prison right now, is the person who appointed him to that position. Disgusting. He sent, we were just earlier in front of his house, through his neighborhood with this billboard truck, because he sent masked goons to my home to intimidate me and abuse his power across county lines. Unacceptable. He should not be the Nassau County Police Commissioner. Residents say he shouldn't be the police commissioner. Why is he the police commissioner? Because he was appointed by a county executive that is now serving time in federal prison on corruption charges. You can't make this up. 144 complaints, civilian complaints against officers filed against the Nassau County Police Department. 0 were founded. 0 out of 144 complaints, ladies and gentlemen. That's tyranny. This is corruption. You're telling me not one officer does anything wrong in his department. He gets away with these kinds of things because nobody knows the truth. And that's why we brought this billboard out here, because we're going to tell people the truth. We're going to let people know what's going on here in the county of Nassau here in New York. We're not going to give up. We're going to continue to expose him. If I have to rent this truck again and again, I will continue to expose him. The reason why I'm really exposing him is because he's been all over Fox News, pushing his pro-police propaganda. He's been on news conferences with Donald Trump. Again, anything to get in front of a camera. He used the death of an NYPD officer for a publicity stunt. For a publicity stunt. He's disgraceful. He's disgraceful. He needs to be held accountable. And Patrick Ryder, if you're watching this, I will never stop holding you accountable and exposing you to the people. Look at this. Look at that. Asset forfeiture rate. $2,000 an hour. One of the best attorneys in the country to protect himself from federal lawsuits for his asset forfeiture. His unlawful asset forfeiture. It's disgusting behavior.
Who pays for that? You think
the taxpayers.
Wow, that's bad.
They have attorneys in Nassau County who can represent him, but they're not good enough. The Nassau County attorneys aren't good enough to represent him because he has so much exposure from all the unlawful activity he's doing. So he's hiring a $2,000 an hour attorney because he has too much exposure. He needs the best of the best representing him in his corruption. That's why, and it's coming out of your pocket, the taxpayers.
Look, Ryder, Nassau County residents are taking notice of your corruption, just so you know. And plenty of other ones are noticing in their vehicles. You're being exposed to the entire county.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are still here in the heart of Nassau County, right across from the Nassau County Executive Building and the Police Department headquarters, where Police Commissioner Patrick "Psycho" Ryder works. We've been out here for several hours with the billboard truck right behind me, exposing his corruption and tyranny to all the residents here. And I want you all to remember, I put the truck right in front of the commissioner's house in his neighborhood because he came to my home with armed men, armed goons, tried to run me off the road and intimidated my family, all for investigating his corruption. Shame on you, Commissioner Ryder. You shouldn't have done that. You scared my family for no reason other than your ego. You wanted to intimidate me and throw me in a jail cell. Those charges will be dismissed shortly. Stay tuned to the channel for updates. But like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is about spreading information. This was a peaceful protest, and we were out here exercising our First Amendment right peacefully. And I wanted to let all the residents know here in Nassau County about their police commissioner. There was residents in this video that had no idea who their police commissioner even was, let alone what he's done his entire career, which is official misconduct, police brutality, as well as perjury. They said it themselves, he shouldn't be the police commissioner. So County Executive Bruce Blakeman, you need to do the right thing and fire Ryder. Shame on the officers in the beginning of the video for trying to intimidate me. The use of taxpayer resources, absolutely disgusting. 5 law enforcement officers, patrol vehicles, unmarked vehicles, coming up to me, demanding ID, unlawfully frisking me. They know who I am. They know exactly who I am. They know I'm not a threat to them. It's absolutely disgusting behavior that's meant to intimidate me, and I will not be intimidated. We spread the information of his corruption and tyranny to thousands of residents here in Nassau County. Let's go over there. All right, fellow patriots, the billboard truck has left. We had it for a total of 8 hours today. We've been in Nassau County exposing the corrupt and tyrannical police commissioner, Patrick Psycho Ryder. He came to my home and sent goons, armed goons to my home to intimidate me and my family for investigating his corruption with asset forfeiture. He still won't release those documents. So we decided to come here in Nassau County, in his neighborhood, and in the county seat to expose him to all the residents and all of you watching now. I know it was effective. You can still see that he has 2 patrol vehicles, one here and one further up the road. I don't know what's the point of it. I'm a threat to him. He's wasting taxpayer resources. He knows I'm not a threat to him. He knows who I am. His goons and his patrolmen already illegally frisked me, demanded ID like they don't know who I am. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm no threat to him other than to expose his tyrannical and corrupt behavior, and I will continue to do so. My sources inside the police department say he has political aspirations. That will never happen. I will make sure I expose him. If I have to rent more billboard trucks, I will. He will never hold political office. I will campaign against him. I'll do whatever it takes. There is no way I will allow him to have any more power than he has right now. He needs to be fired or resign immediately. My sources tell me he has political aspirations. He's been on Fox News promoting police propaganda next to Donald Trump. It's absolutely ridiculous. The world needs to know what's going on here. So I really appreciate all your support. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Can't wait to read the comments on this one. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit. Peace.
Patrick Ryder thought intimidation would silence me. He sent armed officers to my home. He tried to violate my rights, detain me, and shut me up. But today, the truth was louder. Thousands in Nassau County saw the billboard. Residents spoke out. Ryder's corruption is no longer hidden. I won't stop. I'll rent a truck every week if I have to. Patrick Psycho Ryder will never reach political office, not on our watch. Stay tuned. The fight is just beginning.